Okay, so assalamu alaikum and good day, everyone. All right, I'm going to focus on certain things when it comes to this video, okay, especially when it comes to the elements of proposal and also the strategies for your meeting assessment later, okay. Um, so when it comes to email, I think you are already aware of this and you should know and are familiar with this, okay? Since I think you've been using email since primary school, okay? You've been introduced to the basic of email and everything. So the same thing like when you are student still, okay? And especially when you are working later in the future, you'll tend to use email a lot, especially for um, formal settings purposes. Okay, but what I'm going to basically explain in this video is the elements of the proposal, which is basically relates to the content of your meeting and also things that you basically need to prepare and understand when it comes to meeting, right? Okay, so it comes to the proposal, the elements of the proposal, all right? So if you look at the example here, right, the first thing that you need to have is basically the introduction. Okay. So proposing something means that you want to do something. Okay. Um, Perhaps you want to help in a certain situation. Okay. And then there could be some sort of like an issue or a problem. Okay. Let's say, for example, we look at our university context. Okay, so the problem that we are facing right now is, I think the most common one that's very popular is the water crisis. All right. So, for example, if you want to propose something, okay, and relating it back to the assessment, okay, so the assessment wants you to basically propose or make or create a project. Okay, it can be a one-off program or perhaps setting up business. Okay, so if you take an example of the university situation when it comes to the water crisis, perhaps you can do water aid campaign. Okay, maybe for the students, especially those who are affected in the residential area college, right, or colleges here in the EMS, right? So that kind of things. So if you have that kind of purpose for you to propose, then you have to introduce that. Okay, so you can introduce basically just describe the introduction in general at first. Okay, then you brief about the benefits. Okay, the summary of your proposal when it comes to its planning. Okay, and also the purpose of your proposal. Okay, the purpose of your project, right? Then you can also include the overview of the project. Okay, whether it's a maybe 1 day program, maybe it's a series of programs that happens in a period of time. Okay, maybe weekly or monthly or annually. Okay, it's depends. Okay, so all right, so okay, introduction. All right. So the next element is basically the background, right? So background here is basically highlight the problem. Okay. So just now I gave you an example of the water crisis problem here in the university. Okay. So you can highlight that problem, right? So it's the same thing if you want to do a different project or different program. There must be some sort of like a situation or issue, okay, that you want to basically why you want to do such project or event or campaign. Okay, maybe it's the purpose of you to help the community, maybe you want to gain something from it, maybe you want to learn something from it. Okay, so it's up to you. All right, then you can brief the situation, the issues or the problem after that. Okay, once you highlight the problem. All right, so just describe or explain a bit about what the problem is. Okay, why is it happening, right? Then eventually you propose a solution. Okay, so every problem, okay, there must be a solution, and that's why you are proposing something. Okay, it's basically to provide a solution or to give some sort of like benefits or advantages. Okay, to people or to community or to the environment. Okay, it's up to you. It's up to the project that you want to do. All right, so okay, these things. So you need to basically take note of these elements because these elements you will bring this content later to your meeting assessment, which I will explain a bit after this. All right, so okay, let's look at the next one. All right, so once you have highlighted the introduction and also the background of your project, right? Then you move to the plan, right? When it comes to planning, you just brief the details, right? The date, the time, the venue, right? And then who are involved in your project, okay? It can be some people, okay, that you want to get them involved in, right? Maybe some communities, all right? It can be some organizations, right? And you can also include the people, all right, or organization, okay, or maybe experts that can basically help you in solving or maybe help in dealing with the problems. Okay, so if let's say we are facing water problems, that so the the those people that can help is basically maybe from those water department, right? And also it can be from UMS, right? Or NGOs, okay, any related people or organization that can help, all right? So it depends on what kind of program that you want to propose. Okay, so then you need to basically also include the schedule or the flow of your activity or your program. Okay, so you can put tentative, for example. Okay, it doesn't have to be made like I mean like many days program. It can be a 1 day program or project, or maybe a series of project that happens weekly. So it's up to you. It's up to how you want to basically design your proposal. Okay, so they have some examples here when it comes to the tentative, but yeah, it doesn't have to be exactly the same thing like what's in the book or what's in the slides. Okay, because different proposal will have different mechanism, different design. Okay, so it doesn't have to be the same thing. Okay, yes, and this is also one of the crucial things, which is budget, right? Also when it comes to this, is not really the details. Okay, so what I want you guys to basically include in your budget is the realistic plan of your budget proposal. Okay, it doesn't have to be a lot, right? Just need to put it in a way that I can understand and your friends or group members can understand once you are discussing that later. Okay, not so much. Do not put so much, right? Because later that could pose a problem for you to discuss. You can get confused, right? And then you'll definitely spend a long time to explain. And when it comes to the assessment, you don't have much time. All right. So for the meeting assessment, right, you only have 20 to 25 minutes. So each person will only have 5 minutes approximately. Okay, more or less. So not so much time. So you need to basically plan this well, right? So okay, so you can put maybe budget in terms of logistics, transportation, everything, human resources, maybe people, food, everything. Okay, or you can also put sponsorship. Okay, if you want, depending on what kind of program that you want to do. Okay, so I think those are the three things that you basically need to know when it comes to the elements, right? So introduction, the background of your project, okay, the plan, okay, that includes the program schedule, tentative, and also budget. When it comes to this, authorization is basically not important when it comes to the meeting, right? But you can also highlight this because you are requesting whether your proposal can be approved or not. Okay, so if let's say you want to propose a proposal in a letter or email, okay, so you can basically put it like this. Okay, so you can state the benefits of of your program or project or and the results that the project will bring. Okay, then once you're done with that, then you can put a request. For example, if you agree with this proposal, so please maybe give us a reply by, you can state the date and put the deadline. Okay, so as simple as that when it comes to authorization. Okay, so this is an example of a letter of proposal. So, okay, what I want you to do in your group is that I want you to design your own logo and your own company or group name. Okay, so then you can put any address and everything because you will be using this heading. Okay, for your meeting notice and also for your minutes of meeting later. Okay, so that should be great if you can um, put an identity for your group. Okay, so it can be an organization, it can be a company, right? So it's up to you. So you can refer the examples here. Okay, everything is basically here. So this one is just the examples of letter of proposal. The same thing. Okay, introduction, um, background and purpose, plan, everything, and budget, and also this. Okay, so right. Okay, what I want you to do for this week is that, okay, let me go to this. All right, so for this one, for this week, okay, so I want you guys to basically do about the agenda of your meeting, okay? So I'm not going to explain about this and this. You can study this on your own, right? I think you're already aware of what small talk is and discussion, and also they have examples of phrases that you can basically use. Okay, but when it comes to small talk, basically small talk is informal. Okay, and discussion is you are discussing things. Okay, about something like maybe stories, right? About which one is better and everything. Okay, so things that I'm going to focus on is the meetings and also the strategies for effective meetings. Okay, all right, so okay, the most important thing when it comes to meeting, all right, for you to basically make your meeting effective is to plan, right? So the key in planning is your agenda here. It's very important. Okay, and of course the rest, this will be you and your group members. Okay, you and your group members. Okay, and also notification which you will need to prepare. Okay, and all this, the rest is something that you will experience later when you are working in the future. It's something that you need to know as well. Okay, like how you can standardize the format, maybe rules of the meetings and everything. Okay, agreement and follow up. All right, um okay, so this is something that I want to explain. So before the meeting, okay, and before the assessment, I want you to prepare meeting notice and also in agenda together. So this is actually in one document, right? And yeah, so minutes will be something after this. Okay. Um, so meeting notice and agenda in one document. So there should be an example in the slides and also in the book, and I will show it to you after this. So also the most important thing is during the meeting. So you have to divide roles among your group members. Okay. So one person will become a chairperson. Okay. And maybe one person can become the secretary and the other can assume different roles. Maybe head of finance or someone who are involved in designing or logistics and anything related to what you want to plan. Okay. So, of course, this is the procedure, right? You have to basically state the purpose of the meeting. The purpose is basically related to your agenda, and you need to explain the agenda. Okay, and ground rules is basically things like simple ground rules where if you want to say something, you can raise your hand. Okay, or you can say something politely if you want to make a statement or something like that. Okay, and absence is basically those who are absent, so you can say who are absent and everything. And minutes of last meeting, okay, is something that you have discussed before. This one is optional, five. All right. Number five is optional. Number four, you need to include number four, but if there's nobody absent, you just mention that there are no people who are absent. And if it's your first meeting, then this one is really not necessary for you to mention, but you still need to include this in your minutes later as well. Okay, so this is something that is optional as well. Number six, if you have done the previous meeting and everybody agreed on the first meeting minutes of meeting, then the minutes can be accepted. Then somebody will say that okay, I second the minutes, and the rest will, okay, I second the minutes and will follow everything. Okay, so you accept the minutes, everybody agreed. The same thing with number seven, but the most important thing is number eight here. Okay, main agenda items. So when it comes to listing out your main agendas, I suggest that you can actually need to only have one recommended. Two, okay, because and three should be the maximum. Because I'm afraid that you will take longer time if you have more agendas, and then later you will have uh it will be difficult for you to justify and explain about why you can solve that problems. Okay, so agenda could be the things that you want to discuss. Okay, it can also be the problems. Okay, maybe it can be the suggestion, right? Maybe you have a suggestion and then you ask if it can be done or not, right? um or maybe you have some sort of like ideas or something. Okay, but most probably most of the time it is based because of the problems and you want to solve that. Okay, you want to solve this problem, so that's why you will ask people, every group members, whether they agree or disagree, and they have to state their opinion. And it doesn't mean that when you become the chairperson or the secretary, you don't have a say. I mean, like um you think that you don't have a say, but you do. All right, so everybody must participate and everybody must speak. Everybody must raise their own opinions and uh give their suggestion. Okay, give their agreement, right? So because so everything will be counted. So if you speak less and then you don't just really justify, then it's difficult for me to give you marks. Although this is based on groups, okay? But if you're not performing, if you don't have anything much to say, then yeah, and your marks will not be the same like the others, okay? But if your groups are performing very well and everybody is participated very good, then yeah, you got high chances to get good marks, right? The thing is, I don't want you to memorize. Okay? No memorizing. Memorize. What I want you to do is you understand. Okay? You need to understand. Because if if you memorize, then in a crucial time when you want to remember something and you don't really understand about what you say, then you will forget everything. Okay, but if you understand, right, and of course you need to remember some things, but you really do understand, then you'll be able to basically explain, right? So that's why it's very crucial for every group members to understand your agenda. Okay, so everything go back to the agenda here. All right. So everything go back to the agenda. So this is very important, right? Remember, I recommend one, okay? Two, okay lah. Three should be max because you don't have much time to discuss, and then you need to provide solutions and and everything. So I encourage every group to practice first, okay, before you do the assessment. You can maybe search some time among yourselves, okay? You can do it online as well, okay? Practice and discuss about your meeting. So that should be okay lah. And should be make it easy for you later. So after that, once the meeting is done, I want you to submit another document, which is the minutes of meeting, right? So this one. So it comes to the meeting assessments, you need to submit two documents, okay? And also you need to do one meeting, right? So yes, so that's it. One meeting and you need to do two documents, okay? So the documents I'll give you an example. You can actually look at the example here. Okay. So this is your company's logo, things that you will discuss, the date, people that involve, the subject, and the details. You can follow this, okay, and just change things to make it related to your own project or proposal. So the date and day should be the day of the assessment, the same thing with the time. So this one you can name meeting room as well, so no problem. The things, yes, and also this attendance compulsory, prepared by secretary and everything here. Thank you. All right, so this is another sample for minutes. Sorry, for meeting notice. Right, you can check it out later. Okay, this is also one thing that I want to stress out. So number one is compulsory. So you can put this in your list of agenda. Welcome and opening speech. But when it comes to number two, number three, and number four, these are optional. Okay. And the most important thing is number five. Okay. This is the most important. And number six and number seven is also important. But not that important, not as important as five. And it's compulsory for you to put in your agenda. All right. So remember, like what I mentioned, I recommend one agenda. Okay, then you'll discuss a lot with how you can provide a solution and everything. Okay, and you can include visual aids like pictures, maybe graph, right, with documentation to prove about your discussion. Okay, and yeah, two is okay, and then three should be max, right? um because we don't have much time, and I want you to basically focus on the problems and how you can actually solve that in your discussion. Okay, so every group can only have 25 minutes, so I'm not going to entertain you if you speak more. So if you speak more, then I will have to just cut you down. Okay, so if it's more than 25 minutes, So make sure that you are within the range of this lesser than 25 minutes. Okay. So that's why it's very important for you to practice. Even in real life, of course, we have people who likes to prolong meeting, but that's not actually very good. Okay. Because when it comes to the attention of humans, I mean like us, okay, the most effective of us when you want to pay attention is only in a period of 30 minutes, right? So we don't have much time actually. Okay. So this is the most attention we can actually give. All right. Okay. So this is example. So remember, you can include this agenda here. You can include in the same document with the meeting notice. You can put this below the details, okay, and then you can put the details here first, right? Okay, details, right? Then you can continue, all right? Then you can put the agenda below here, all right? Okay, so that's I think yes, that's the thing. Okay, another sample. All right, minutes of meeting is something that you do once you have done the meeting, all right? So I will ask you to submit this one document as well. So you can follow the example, the subject, everything, apologies. If there's nobody who are absent, you just put a dash. The same thing with this, apologies, absent dash. So you need to include this, right? Or this thing. So you need to check, okay? The same thing with this. This is optional, okay? If you have if you have previous meetings, maybe minutes of meetings, then you can include this. But if no, then it's okay. And this is basically the main agenda. So what I want you to do is that I don't want you to put it too general like this. It's too general. So I don't want it like that. Okay. I want you to make it into specific. All right. So it can be maybe you address some sort of like problem or you want to suggest something, but make it specific. Okay. Like problems and challenges. Okay. What kind of problems? What kind of challenges? You need to mention. Okay. And you need to describe a bit. So this is what you will do this week. Okay. Um. All right. Okay. So you can follow this later example. Okay. So I think now we are in the activity section. Okay. What I want you to do is that I want you to discuss in your group about the meeting. Okay. Only meeting agenda. So it's the previous one that I've explained. So your meeting agenda must be based on your previous proposal. Okay. So proposal here, right? There you can follow the examples and you consult with me. I think before this, uh, for the previous sections, I mentioned that you send it to me on WhatsApp and I will reply to you. But I think it will be much better if you show it to me in class after the mid-sem break. Okay. So because I think that should be much more effective lah. So you can discuss more with your group members. So after mid-sem, you have one more week before we start with the assessment. So assessment for meeting is on week 11. Okay. Preferably face to face, right? But let's say if you have some sort of like difficulties, then I will consider it for for us to have it online. But when it comes to online, you need to make sure that your connection is very good, okay? Because if your connection is not good, then it would be difficult for me to assess, okay? And also do not memorize, understand. Right, so I think that's all for my explanation. If you have any questions, so feel free to ask me on WhatsApp. All right, everyone. Okay, that's all. Thank you.